Today we're talking about To All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You, which is of course the follow-up to 2018's movie, which honestly was one of the big surprises for me as far as Netflix teenage romantic movies go. So this is the sequel. Is it as good as the first one? Does it have that charisma, that charm as the first one? Is it worth checking out? We're going to talk about that and much more. All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You. Lara Jean and Peter have taken their relationship from pretend to officially official when another recipient of one of her old love letters enters the picture. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Elliot back again with a brand new Netflix review, and we're talking about the sequel to All the Boys today, and very excited to share my thoughts with you all in this spoiler-free review. Before we dive into it, for those that are new to Movie Files, definitely consider subscribing. Hit that bell so you can stay up to date with my content. We are so close to 2,000 subscribers. Can't thank you all enough for the continued support. And if and when you've seen this sequel to the follow-up to All the Boys, P.S. I Still Love You, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Did you enjoy this movie more than the first? Did you like the first more, and are you excited for the sequel that's inevitably going to be coming out sooner rather than later? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. So before I jump into this review, kind of, for the 2018 version, I didn't review it on my channel, but I did do a written review on my Instagram. If you're not following us on Instagram, definitely do so. But, I really enjoyed that film. It was a very surprisingly good film, because we all know, especially for people like me that watch a lot of Netflix content, there's kind of a formula when it comes to these teenage romantic movies. A lot of times the characters are kind of weak, the story isn't that strong, and it's just kind of just a run-of-the-mill type of situation where you kind of know what's going to happen, and it just kind of falls a little bland. But with the 2018 version, I like the characters, I like Lara Jean, I like Peter, I like their friends, and it was just a really fun movie. So I'm not going to lie, if you all watch my Movie Files, movie, TV, and bucket list for the month of February, this was something I was actually looking forward to. So starting off with the positive, one of the biggest things about the original was that cast, and in particularly Noah and Laura. I think that there are two great up-and-coming actors. I know Noah has some really great relationship with Netflix. Like, he is their go-to guy when it comes to these teenage romantic comedies. I know he was in Charlie's Angels last year. I didn't get a chance to check that out, but he's a really good up-and-coming actor, and I really like his charm, his charisma. He really has a presence to him, and it definitely kind of follows that in the sequel. And, he's the same old Peter from the first one. He has that great kind of charisma. He has that charm. He has a good relationship with Lara Jean. And also kind of balances that line between kind of being bro-y and kind of being kind of a jock character. But at the same time, the guy has heart. He cares for the people he does. And I kind of like that continuation from his character. It wasn't a huge character arc from him from the first one to the second one. But you get a little bit more of Peter in this one in regards to the guy's a good guy. He cares for people, even not giving too much away, but even past relationships, he still cares for people. So I like that kind of evolution from Peter 1 from the first film in 2018 to this one. And then, of course, our main character, Lara Jean, she's great, and that's one of the things. I haven't seen too many things from her since 2018. I know she was on some show, I believe it was a comic book show on Sci-Fi that didn't last that long, but she's a really great actress. I really like her progression from the first one to this one, because in this one she's dealing with having a boyfriend for the first time and what comes with that, and also dating someone that has a bit of a history, and we can all kind of relate to that, right? No matter if we're a teenager or an adult, there's sometimes that people have been married before or have kids, so they've experienced other things in life that you may not have, and you might feel a little insecure about that. So I like that element that they gave Lara Jean in this film where, she's dating Peter, she's happy, but Peter's been around the block a couple times, and he had an ex in the first one, Jen, who also plays a pretty big role in this one, and she kind of feels those insecurities. And I kind of like that they dive into that, because again, this is a teenage, this is the target audience is definitely a teenager, and whatnot, but I think we can all kind of relate to that in any facet of life, whether it be relationships or work. You might be replacing someone at work that's more experienced with you, and you're kind of intimidated to step into their shoes. So I kind of like those elements that the story kind of brought in, and the continuation for these characters. Like I said, I know they're going to make a third one, so it'll be interesting to see where Lara Jean and Peter are come the third one. So I like their characters. I like kind of the story that they have there. Again, it isn't your standard run-of-the-mill type of romantic teenage comedy. They have a little bit more heart to it. They have a little bit more conversations. They focus a little bit more on the story, and I kind of appreciate that. So kind of going into some of my criticisms with the second one, I will say for me personally, I enjoy the first one more. It seemed to have a little bit more spunk, a little bit more comedic moments, a little bit more fun moments. This one has that, the second one, but Definitely a little bit more drama injected in this story, a little bit more stuff going on with John Ambrose and Lara Jean and Peter, kind of that love triangle and kind of that, that angle there. So I would have liked to see a little bit more fun elements like we got in the first one. So that was something that was kind of missing for me. And I'm not going to lie, when it comes to Team Peter versus Team John, I'm going Team Peter all day. Let me know if in the comments, John Ambrose came off a little creepy to me. Like, he was just like, hey, Lord, you remember when we were kids? And I thought he came off very kind of Joe from Netflix show, if you all watched that. He was very kind of creepy to me. And I'm glad that Lara Jean, was looking at other elements in her life because she's still young. When you're in high school, you might find that one, but it's always kind of good to kind of look at other relationships and how people can fit into your life. So I was glad that she kind of looked at that past, and obviously if you see the movie, you see what decisions she's making in this movie. But I don't know. I'm going with Team Peter. Let me know in the comments. But I thought that John Ambrose character and the kind of his being implemented in this story was a little bit kind of underserved, and I think that if this is of course based on books, I wonder if the book dives more into their friendship and their relationship and the kind of the complexity of that relationship, because I feel like this film touched on it, but this really didn't dive into it. And also another thing I didn't really like was it seemed like a lot of the sister, who I thought was fun in the first one, the little sister, and the dad, and he has a kind of a new relationship in this film. I feel like the secondary characters didn't get as much attention as they did in the first one. And if they did, it just kind of went by kind of fast. Like, there's a particular relationship that the dad has in this film that kind of has a certain resolution to it that I just thought like, it was going in that direction, but it just kind of came out of left field. The little sister really doesn't have much to do towards the last half of the film, like at all. The big sister makes one, appearance in the film. So I definitely liked that the film did focus on our two main leads from the first one, but it felt like the other people in this film didn't get as much to do as the first one, which I think kind of goes into the less fun side of the film that I missed out on this one compared to the first one. So wrapping up, overall thoughts, I do enjoy the first one more, but this is still an above average teenage romantic comedy that you would find on Netflix, and honestly just in general in movies and at the theater. So overall, I'll give this film a 3 out of 5. Again, I prefer the first one to the second one, but the second one still has a little heart and charm, and I enjoy the main characters. So it is that time of the year where you snuggled up to your loved ones, and I would recommend you all checking it out. Again, I give it a 3 out of 5. So give this video a thumbs up, really helps out the channel. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and hit that bell so you can stay up to date with my content. I will be checking out another romantic movie for Valentine's Day. I'll be seeing Photograph with Lakeith Stanfield and Issa Rae tonight, so I'll have that review up for you guys probably on Thursday, so keep an eye out for that. Keep an eye out for all my movie reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, giveaways, and I'll have some more reviews coming pretty soon, so definitely subscribe if you haven't already, and thank you all for watching this review, and we'll see you in the next video.